Yeah, it's Poppin' Peeps. TuffLegend77 here today for a review of a movie I just saw. Let's see, today's Monday, so it was not yesterday, it was Saturday night. It was at a drive-in theater. A sequel to what I would put as my fifth favorite movie of all time. The sequel I'm talking about being It Chapter 2. Now, a ton of people are saying this movie is really disappointing and that, well, it just doesn't live up to the first, but honestly, it's probably my favorite sequel to ever exist. Sue me. Go ahead. I don't give a shit. This is one of the best sequels I have ever seen, and I don't know why so many people find it disappointing. It's honestly the best follow up that I think could have been possible to the first part of it. I mean, look at how terribly the miniseries Part 2 flopped. Everyone's always praising the first part of the miniseries despite the fact that it's just drab, boring, and pointless. There's nothing of worth in there either to hate or to love. So it's just overall not entertaining on either side because it's not fun to rip on and it's not entertaining to watch. But for it, Chapter 2, people say that it recycles a lot from the first film, which, well, I can't agree with some of the things being recycled, but mm, honestly, I don't see a lot of other cases. I mean, and this movie did take, mm, it was 30 minutes longer than the original, I believe, something around there, but it was 3 damn good hours, honestly. Pennywise is not as good as he was in the first, but Bill Skarsgård still performs perfectly. And people have been talking since before the movie came out about how amazing the actors would have been, especially Bill Hader. And I just gotta say, Bill Hader is an amazing actor for Richie specifically. Honestly, I don't think you could have gotten a better person to play Richie. But speaking of Richie, well, you know how I was saying that some of the things they did recycle from the first movie? Well, remember when they're in the sewers after defeating Pennywise, and Bill finds Georgie's raincoat and starts crying before everyone huddles up with him and just comforts him? Well, they do the same thing at the end of this movie, but mm, it's it just doesn't hit as hard. Don't get me wrong, it still hits hard, but not as hard because it's already been done before. And well, basically, Eddie dies by being impaled by Pennywise after saving Richie by him, well, doing the same thing that Pennywise did to him 5 seconds later. But still, I mean, hmm, there were some things the movie could have done better. Like, I mean, come on, they could have given Eddie at least a more dignifying death. And mm, well, the movie overall, just because I'm getting a bit iffy at what I'm talking about, just because I'm getting iffy about what I have talked about the movie so far, doesn't mean I hate it. Like I said, it's my favorite sequel of all time. Honestly, it still manages to keep that same creepiness that the first movie does, and people are saying it's not as scary as the first. The first wasn't even that scary, honestly. I mean, it's more creepy and foreboding than the miniseries by far, but scary? Am I the only one who realizes this is complete fiction and none of this has a realistic chance of happening? I mean, for fuck's sakes, in the book, a magical a magical multiversal turtle performed the ritual of Chud with the, well, at the time actually adults instead of kids, and helped them defeat Pennywise by doing that. A fucking multiversal turtle. And sure, that's just the books, but a lot of the things in here are far from realistic as well. Honestly, when a movie is frightening, I expect realism for it to be frightening. Like how I think the Conjuring and Annabelle movies are for fucking pussies. Yeah, you heard that right. Throughout the entire first Conjuring movie, I was laughing my ass off the entire way through, thinking, this is seriously what people find scary, frightening? This stupid exorcist bullshit it's just completely fake and unrealistic. But with these two movies, I mean, there's no doubt the first was definitely better, but the second isn't disappointing at all. It's, like I said, my favorite sequel of all time, and one of the best damn follow-ups you could get to a horror movie, especially these days. Of course, there are some moments that can feel a little bit boring and can drag on, like the scene where everyone cracked open their fortune cookie and got one word for it. Then they were arguing about what it could be for about 3 minutes, I believe, until Bev finally showed her ticket saying Stanley. And the sentence was, guess Stanley could not cut it, was the sentence, because Stanley slit his wrist. And 3 minutes? I mean, come on. Just give it 1 minute. That's all it needs to emotionally envelop you, and it becomes slightly more frustrating because it would have been more emotional if they just let it finish quicker. I mean, you could have had more time to set up a sense of sadness if you finished it quicker and didn't immediately go straight to the scares afterwards. Other than that, though, I mean, Pennywise, like I already said, phenomenal. Bill Skarsgård, fucking amazing job, dude. Every one of the actors, amazing. And this movie had some surprising twists, like with Richie being homosexual. I mean, I don't think it was this way in the first movie, but, oh, sorry, by first movie, well, I meant mini-series. But that was just part 1 that I've seen, and I'm not gonna watch part 2. Look, I already hear all the bad reviews about it. There's no way in hell I'm watching that. But Chapter 2 is a really solid, amazing movie with some of the best actors, and there's some problems every now and then, but the positives far outweigh the negatives. Anyways, guys, this has been Typhlosion787, and I'm out of the house. Bye!